Thank you so much for staying here on the AM show. It's a minute to 9:20 and we are back at the Opera Square. Yesterday I was there to assess day one of the closure of shops by members of GUTA. This morning my colleague Michael Ashale is there for us. Hello Michael, what have you observed this morning?
Their shops closed right from yesterday, the 19th of October, all the way to Monday of next week. That is the exact situation that you have. Their shops are still closed. And even more now, it is biting for some businesses that ordinarily benefited from the customers that these shops that when they were open, they drew into the market. Yeah. So at Opera Square, the number of people that you find ordinarily on a normal day should be, overwhelming. But today, that is not the situation. You'd have the place nearly deserted, except for a few people who are selling items that GUTA members do not sell. So you'd find food vendors there. You'd find people who are selling, shoes and others, but not necessarily selling what you have at Opera Square. At Opera Square, they are known for a lot of electrical stuff. So all your electrical stuff you can find there. But that is not the situation this morning. I managed to talk to some of the smaller businesses that depend on the use of these shops, particularly headquarters. They are those who you'd find helping customers who had bought in large quantities. Would help them cut their goods from a place like Opera Square to Tama Station or to the nearest convenient means of transportation. But that's not the case. They told me since yesterday, just one of them had admitted to having one customer alone. And even for that person, did not buy from a GUTA member, but from the fringes. So she's the only one who would have said that she got business yesterday. Most of them tell me they haven't been able to get a single customer to help cut their goods from Opera Square to the bus terminals. Today, they are unsure whether they should be working or not, but they tell me they're in the market with their fingers crossed, hoping that, somebody will come and buy from the other people that are available. Again, there's a bus terminal there. The Metro Mass Transit is operating within that area. They tell me that the business is slow, that ordinarily you'd have people who have traveled from far and wide at the moment. They are greatly losing from the decreased number of people who are coming to areas like that where you find most of them operating. Again, for customers who managed to get something, there was this gentleman I spoke to, Peter. Peter tells me he, on a normal day, would have taken him in his words, a twinkle of an eye to buy anything that he wanted to buy from that particular area. That is Opera Square. But today, it took him hours to get a single person to link him to someone who can sell just an iron rod. Not an iron rod, the one that you bury in the ground when you build your house, that particular rod. So it took him a very long time to get someone to sell. Now, the startling part is that he says if he had bought it on Monday when the strike was not enforced, it would have been 80 Ghana cedis. 80 Ghana cedis. But today, he bought it at 130 Ghana cedis. That's a lot, given that he's paying 50 Ghana cedis more. Nearly half of how much he would have bought it if these shops were not closed. So customers are feeling the pinch. The others that managed to talk to me also tell me that it's actually very disappointing to come all the way from your house, hoping that the person that you've been loyal to, you've been buying from them consistently, would have at least understood your plight and served you. But they've all been disappointed. They've been sent back home with nothing to buy, except for Peter, who was lucky enough to get someone. He will not disclose who that was, but he tells you that it was a huge struggle for him to get someone to attend to him at this moment in time. So it was difficult, I must say, for customers and those who are also benefiting from the boom of these shops that belonged to members of GUTA, Benes.
Right, Michael, yesterday we know that the police was on ground prior to the The IGP visiting the area, we're told that they were there to give security to persons who had closed their shops and other people who would have come through to buy items. Do you see police presence at the Opera Square today?
Yes, Ben, I can confirm that huge police presence. Yeah, nearly every corner you find yourself in, there's a police or a man in uniform who's looking out for you. Most of them are there with their motorcycles. I mean, given that recently they were donated some motorcycles. Nearly every one of them you find at a particular bus stop has a motorcycle that is looking on in the street. But like the meeting you mentioned from between themselves and that of the police and GUTA, it was a matter of ensuring that the excesses of this exercise, that you have one group, though in the minority, saying that, well, we will not close our shops. The tendency for members of GUTA to try to use force to get them to comply to what they have started, that is one of the things that the IGP, I understand, mentioned to GUTA, that there should be no use of force in getting other people to conform, but rather it can only be conversational. And in the event that something like that happens, then men like what is deployed on the grounds today will be the men to enforce the law, to arrest any such person who decides to use force to and make sure that individuals are conforming to this particular strike action. Again, let's not forget that Dr. Joseph Obeng is the president of GUTA, says that there was no use of force to get people to comply. It was only out of the free will of the people that decided to embark on the strike. So again, it should be that anybody who decides to join or not join should be allowed to do whatever they so wish to do at this moment. So the police, yes, they're on the ground, making sure that there's nothing of a clash or a commotion on the ground this morning.
Michael Ashale there, joining us from the Opera Square in Accra, giving us details of what the situation is like this morning with regards to closure of shops by members of GUTA. He reports that it's more deserted than it was yesterday. As you would expect, yesterday was the first day. Some of the people are engaged said they were lurking around to monitor what the situation would be like. There was a gentleman I spoke to who was there to trade. He had heard in the news that the shops were going to be closed, but he says he thought it was a joke. But it appears that the message has gone down well, and people are just avoiding going there. Quite a few people were still optimistic that the people they engaged in business with regularly may make an exception for them, but that's not the case. And GUTA and its members say that they really want to send this message across to government about their unhappiness about this current situation. So quickly, it's now time to take your thoughts and comments on major issues in the country. We'd like to hear what you have to say about GUTA's decision, also because there will be definitely a ripple effect, which we'll all have to endure till Monday when the shops are opened. And also, when you get onto our Facebook pages, I beg your pardon, there are a couple of posts there that we'll be taking your responses to about the World Cup and what Ms. Efie Ankara has been saying about sponsorship of supporters. Also, former President John Dramani Mahama has been speaking about that unfortunate incident which involved a man jumping up off a high-tension pole. And he has been advising that suicide is not the option. Yesterday, Twitter went on fire as a result of this statement by the former president. He says suicide is not an option. A lot of people have been focusing on that part of the message, but others have been focusing on the earlier part, which they say he's just trying to score political points with. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll bring those comments, plus open the phone lines for you to also share your thoughts with us.